everyone. Good morning to one and all gathered here. It is an honor and privilege to welcome such a distinguished guest, respected educators, and enthusiastic participants to this occasion. Today marks the second day of National Conference on Empowering Future Educators for Sustainable Development. Inventions and practices and challenges organized by St. Joseph Training College, Pavaratty, in collaboration with IQSC. To begin with this day with prayer.
सच्चिदानंद स्वरूपम अक्षररूपन्नि निन्तिरुमुन्बिल सुप्रणामं सुप्रणामं विद्याश्रमं सर्वार्थसिद्धिदम् अध्यापनम् विद्याश्रमं सर्वार्थसिद्धिदम् अध्यापनं सर्वधर्माप्रदिष्टम् तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ज्ञानतीर्थ प्रदायकम् मुक्तिमार्ग प्रचोदकम् सर्वविद्या सागरं निम्मुन्पिल सुप्रणामं सुप्रणामं सुप्रणामम्
We are privileged to have with us Dr. Deepa Varghese Ma'am, the Principal of St. Joseph Training College, Pavaratty. I invite Dr. Deepa Varghese Ma'am to deliver the welcome speech.
One morning to all. Very distinguished and eminent chief guest and resource person of the second day of our national conference, very respected Dr. Pramod Dinagar sir, beloved teaching and non-teaching staff, lovely students, both online and offline participants. Today, we are blessed and highly privileged with the esteemed presence of very respected Dr. Pramod Dinagar sir, who is an associate professor, head of School of Ethics, Governance, Culture and Social System, Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth, deemed to be University, Ernakulam. Actually, sir is a towering figure in the educational scenario, not only because of his excellence in academic area, but also his visionary leadership and commitment in the advancement of our educational field. Here, sir's presence, it provides not only an inspiration, and moreover that it is a practical support and a motivation to energize each of us to strive to the excellence. Sir is truly a remarkable and a highly admirable personality. Actually, sir's insightful contribution to the academic community have lasting impact in the field of education. I take this opportunity to extend our heartfelt gratitude for his presence, because despite of his busy schedule, sir graciously taken time out to be with us and to share his valuable expertise and experiences. On behalf of St. Joseph Training College, Pavaratty, Navajani College of Teacher Education for Mubannavarikara, and Council for Teacher Education Federation Kerala chapter, I extend a wholeheartedly welcome to you, dear sir, to this session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We are truly privileged to have such esteemed dignitaries among us. It is now my pleasure to invite Taslia to introduce our guest of the day.
Good morning. Dr. Pramod Dinagar, a highly respected educator and mentor in the field of teaching and education. Dr. Pramod Dinagar is the head and associate professor at the School of Ethics, Governance, Culture and Social Systems, Chinmaya Vishwavidyapith, Ernakulam. With over 12 years of teaching experience and 14 years in the education sector, he is an expert in education, psychology, and educational management. His research focuses on topics like improving teaching methods, mindfulness in education, and positive psychology for students and teachers. Dr. Pramod Dinagar holds a PhD in education and has cleared multiple national level qualifications such as UGC NET in subjects like education, sociology, Hindi, and psychology. He has also worked as a postdoctoral fellow at the Central University of Kerala. In addition to teaching, Dr. Pramod Dinagar has played a key role in developing teacher training programs and has worked with various educational organizations, including SCDRT, Samagra Shiksha Kerala, and universities across the country. He is also an active member of many professional education groups and is deeply involved in helping improve education systems at all levels. Dr. Pramod Dinagar's dedication to teaching and research has made him guide and inspiration to many educators and students.
Now, it's the time to start the session. I welcome Dr. Pramod Dinagar to the event.
I can very well use good morning itself. Right. So thank you, Taslia and Deepa ma'am for the an extended introduction. In Malayalam we use the word a bit of push. Allah is always good. And in the morning, I had another food which is coming out. So from food in the morning till now, I have been subjected to various cults. Okay, so coming to the topic, I am pretty sure that you are eagerly waiting to see this session end. I, being a psychologist also, I can understand your mindset. So, I have a presentation of 20 slides, 20 plus slides. If there is anything that you know, just tell me. Yeah, that we know. It's already covered. Okay? You can very well. So, all are free to do that. Okay, so although this is a session, can we make it a bit interactive? Is that okay? So, my session will be focusing on pedagogical approaches and competencies for sustainability education. What is pedagogy? I need to hear. Pedagogy is not teaching. Way of teaching. Method of teaching. Science of teaching, very good. Science of teaching dash. Dash is a particular shastra. Science of teaching children. PED, ped means whenever you see the word PED, it means pediatrician related to children. So science of teaching children is pedagogy. Then what is the science of teaching adults? Andragogy. Andragogy. Okay? Andragogy. Okay, actually I am not using pedagogy now because all of you are grown-ups. Although you deserve a peda, many of you, we will be discussing basically andragogy only. But environmental education or sustainability, whatever it is, it requires another goji apart from pedagogy or andragogy for it to be successful. Can you give me that? I can give you what it means. Just tell me what the term. It is the science of self-determined learning. Science of teaching children is pedagogy. Science of teaching adults is andragogy. Science of self-determined learning. That is essential for sustainability education. Can you guess? It starts with H. At least you should get 3 new words from this class. All other things you will be listening and sleeping and doing. At least 3 different things. So that is why I thought of giving the first word right itself. It is called the heutagogy. Heuta. H-E-U-T-A-G-O-G-Y. Not a muta. Heuta. Heutagogy. Heutagogy is the science of self-determined learning. Means I determine what I should learn and I learn. Have you heard about MOOC courses? MOOC, E-MOOC, M-O-O-C, what is that? Massive open online courses. When you voluntarily do that, you are actually part of heutagogy. Because nobody is forcing you to join MOOC. Although sometimes teacher may suggest that this is a good MOOC to join. Otherwise, if you are doing it for your sake, then you are part of heutagogy. So, pedagogical approaches and competencies for sustainability education. First, underline the word, heutagogy is the best approach. Making the stakeholders learn for themselves, understand for themselves. That only will help in sustainability. I am pretty sure that you have discussed sustainability a lot. So my session flow will be like this. Sustainability what? Instead of me telling you, you will be telling me that. Sustainability and well-being. This is a term that is very well used these days, well-being. Sustainability and energy management, we will discuss a bit of it. Pedagogical approaches, most of which you may tell. Competencies for sustainability, India's net zero goals. All these things we will be discussing. So, now let me ask you, what do you mean by competency or competence? Competence required for a teacher, competence required for a mathematics teacher, science teacher, English teacher. What do you mean by competency or competence? Kaiva? Then? But this word is very much important for DLED and B.Ed. നമ്മുടെ ബുദ്ധിമനുസരിച്ച് കാര്യം പരമാവധി നല്ല രീതിയിൽ ചെയ്യാനുള്ള കഴിവ് ശരിയാണോ? Give her a hand. This is also correct. This is correct. Can you add to it? So basically, she was mentioning about doing something to the best of one's ability. Is it only ability or skill? Is there anything else? Ability with dash and dash. രണ്ടാമത്തെ ഡാഷ് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നത് പെഡഗോജി is the science of teaching dash എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു തുടങ്ങിയാൽ now I am using the second dash. Ability to do something with dash and dash, with the knowledge and attitude. Pretty clear. So competency is not just skill or ability, it is also the knowledge as well as attitudes required for that particular ability or skill. So it is like the intersection of knowledge, skills, attitudes. So if you draw 3 circles and the middle point where all these 3 converge is called competency. 3 circles of knowledge, skills, attitudes. I usually say to become a teacher, what do you want? You want to have 3 plus 1, 4 things. My B.Ed students start with this. Ask. ASK. 2 ask. One is ask questions. A teacher should ask questions. This ask is attitude, skills and knowledge. Okay? Plus V. V for values. Which will give you victory. Ask plus V will give you victory. Attitude, skills, knowledge will give you victory. As attitude, skills, knowledge plus values will give you victory as a teacher. So, attitude, skills, knowledge we can together call as competence. The converging point of attitude, skills and values. Basically, competence is the behavior. In psychology, competence is the behavior which includes attitude, knowledge and skill. Clear? So competence clear. So now we will go. Any idea about net zero? Total marks you receive in the examination before learning? Okay, we'll come to the net zero later. Fine. So we'll start with sustainability. What is sustainability? Sustain. For future generation, so I am not doing meeting our own needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Clear? Okay, move ahead. Now these are the dimensions of sustainable development which also you might have discussed. Yes or no? Zero. Just what are the 3 dimensions? Environment, social and economic. So when we look at the 17 sustainable development goals of UN, this will be coming into any of these 3. So environmental plus social, it is called bearable. If it's social plus economic, it is called equitable. And environment plus economic, viable. So sustainable development means development which caters to environmental aspect, social aspect, and economic aspect. See, sustainable development here, there is one thing called well-being, which I told you I will be discussing it. Well-being. So if environment, social, and economic things are taken care of in development, well-being is ensured. Well-being of whom? Well-being of those who are living now and well-being of those who are coming later. If we go by the present level, have you heard about a word called footprint? What footprint? In sustainability, carbon footprint. Okay. Carbon footprint means the amount of carbon plus greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases, they make that hole in the what? Ozone layer. Moreover, greenhouse gases, what do? They increase the temperature, global warming. So greenhouse gases are responsible for basically global warming plus depletion of ozone layer. What are the greenhouse gases? Methane, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, fluorine including chlorofluorocarbons, etc. So when we are using or emitting these greenhouse gases, global warming will happen. So if we go by the present level of emission of greenhouse gases, by 2050, the earth will be warmer by 2%, 2 degree. Earth will be warmer by 2 degree and many of the coastal towns and cities will go under water. That is the danger that we are facing. Each person of you have a carbon footprint of not less than 8 tons. 8 ടണ്ണിന്റെ ഭാരമാണ് ഭൂമിക്ക് നിങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കി കൊടുക്കുന്നത്. ഓരോ ആളും, ഞാനും നിങ്ങൾ. Each person. If you go to America and you are an American citizen, you give that burden by more than 16 tons. 16 tons of what? Greenhouse gases burden to the world by following our lifestyle as we are following. If we are continuing with the lifestyle that we are following, Earth will become warmer by 2 degrees by 2050. And many of the, including Pavaratty, this area, all will be under water because glaciers will melt. Those things you know. So carbon footprint. So sustainability is about bringing development. Usually it is told that when development comes, environment goes down. So when big projects, large scale projects come, there is a natural harm of the environment that will happen. But we cannot stop development. So how can we ensure that development happens? It is through sustainable development practices. Those practices which think about social development, economic development, and environmental development. So all these three combined together, if we are having development, we will live and the future generations will live. If we continue to live the way we are, global warming 2050, what will the future generation be there? Have you heard that poem by Poenli Kuruppa? Iniyum മരിക്കാത്ത ഭൂമി നിന്നാസന്ന മൃതി നിനക്കാത്മശാന്തി ഇതു നിന്റെ എന്റെയും ചരമ ശുശ്രൂഷയ്ക്ക് ഹൃദയത്തിൽ നിന്നേ കുറിച്ച ഗീതം. Then there is a song. I forgot the lyrics about Arya asking questions. If it comes to my mind, I will sing that later. So sustainable development, you understood what it is. So what are the sustainable development goals of UN? These 17 goals. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice and strong institutions, partnership, collaboration for the goals. These are the 17 SDG goals which the UN has kept till 2030. 2001 to 2015, UN had put some goals. What were they called? Millennium Goals. 2015 to 2030, they are called Sustainable Development Goals. Okay. Sustainability and well-being. Well-being is one of the latest concepts in positive psychology. What is well-being? Just listening to the word well-being. What do you mean? Kshema avastha. What do you mean by Kshema avastha? सब कुछ कुशल खुशहाल എല്ലാം ഓക്കെ നമ്മളെല്ലാം ഓക്കെ ആവണമെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ പെർഫെക്റ്റ്ലി ഓക്കെ ആവണമെങ്കിൽ what all should we have? If we have to be perfectly okay, we are fine, then what all things we need to have? We as individuals should be fine. We as individuals in health, wealth and socio-economic things should be fine. Then we, the community should be fine. Then another environment should be stable. So I plus community plus environment. If all these three grow, then only I can say that I am happy or I am successful. My success, my happiness, my contentment depends upon myself, my health, my wealth, my socio-economic status, my personality characteristics, my social collaboration, my society, plus environmental sustainability. Say, I am fine, my society is fine, but we live in an environmentally dangerous area. Will we be happy? We are expecting landslides or floods. Why do we have floods these days? Frequent floods. Why do we have more frequent landslides? Why do we have hotter summers and cooler winters? All because of climate changes, which is happening many a time because of our own lifestyle and activity. Okay, so sustainability and well-being, psychological well-being refers to a state of being characterized by positive relationships, purpose, autonomy, environmental mastery, and self-acceptance. Self-acceptance, positive relationships, purpose in life, autonomy, environmental mastery, etc. are key components of psychological well-being. So, in dimensions of well-being in relation to sustainability, I've just touched through it. Physical well-being. For us to be well-being, ക്ഷേമമാണ്, സുഖമാണ്, സമൃദ്ധമാണ് എന്ന് പറയണമെങ്കിൽ we should be physically healthy. When we are living a sustainable lifestyle, reducing pollution and toxins will ensure our better health. Access to green spaces and physical activity, reducing obesity and lifestyle diseases again will enhance our physical well-being. These are all byproducts of environmental or general sustainability education. Mental well-being. ശരീരപ്രവർത്തനം നന്നായി പോരാ, മനസ്സ് നന്നായില്ലെങ്കിൽ ശരീരം എത്ര നല്ലതാണെങ്കിലും കാര്യമില്ല. Sustainable environments, relaxation and mindfulness, reduce stress and anxiety. നമ്മൾ ടെൻഷൻ വരുമ്പോൾ എവിടെ പോകുന്നത്? പ്രകൃതിയുടെ മടിത്തട്ടിൽ നമ്മൾ ഈ മൊബൈൽ ഫോണൊക്കെ മാറ്റി വെച്ച് നമ്മൾ കുറച്ച് സമാധാനം തേടുന്നു. Right. A sense of purpose and community belonging. Third one, social well-being, samooham. Group endeavors, social bonding and promote inclusivity. If we are targeting sustainability as a social order, it will develop social harmony and bondage. Economic well-being creates stable, future-proof employment opportunities. Reduce costs in the long term. Energy efficient buildings lowers utility bills. I'll come to energy management now later in 5 to 10 minutes. Economic well-being, there are a lot of job opportunities if we are going forward. Ecological well-being, healthy ecosystems promotes pollination, water purification and climate regulation, which directly impacts human well-being. Enhances ecological resilience. What do you mean by ecological resilience? What is resilience? Adijeevan. What is that? Bouncing back from adversities. When we are down and out, I get up. A person who has succeeded, we can say that a person is successful. That person might have failed. Say 50 times he may have failed, but the 51st attempt he may have succeeded. So, if we are trying plus one time than we have failed, we may succeed. It is told that Thomas Alva Edison discovered the electric bulb. In that, he attempted at least 10,000 times. Each time he considers that it was not a failure, but it was giving him feedback. Based on that feedback, you go for the next step. And when I was introduced, when I was pushed in the start, I was told that I was having 4 UGC nets. Then some of the people were looking like that. At least tell you the story of one net in that. So my base subject was Hindi, but now I don't have any relationship with Hindi because I am teaching all the other subjects except Hindi. So Hindi, since it was my first subject, I thought that I should get a net in that because that is from where I came. So I should not forget my roots. By that time I had already got net in education. Education I got net for the 4th time and JR in the 5th attempt. Then psychology I got net in the 1st attempt. Sociology I got net in the 1st attempt. Then Hindi I had this desire of qualifying net. I had tried more than 12 times, but I didn't get it because one time I lost it by 1 mark. I lost it by 3 marks 5 times, 5 marks lot of times, and without even coming to the picture lot of times. So then I thought, if I can get net in education and psychology, I should very well try for Hindi also. I again tried, again failed, again tried, again failed. As the story goes, 18th attempt, I made it. How? I was resilient. I was persevering with my effort. So even if we go down, have to come up. So that's called resilience. Bouncing back from adversity. Falling down, coming up. When you stand up, you move. Ecological resilience means the nature itself has its own ability of building back. Have you heard that there was a hole in the ozone layer which has now shrunk? Because of the last 10 years, action, pro-climatic action done by a lot of people, the hole has now reduced. So, പണ്ടത്ര ഇത്രയും വലിയ ഹോൾ ഇല്ല, മനുഷ്യനുണ്ടാക്കിയൊന്നല്ല, because the nature itself has this ability of bouncing back. So to give that space, give that ecological resilience, human action is required. We should do our part, then nature will do its own part. We have a body, we have an organ in our body which is resilient. Liver, even if it's down to 70%, it regenerates. But if we don't do proactive measures, it will again degenerate. Say if you take too much of oil, if you take, say, those who are taking alcohol and all, to take alcohol or too much of carbs, it can damage the liver. So similarly, everything in nature has this ability of bouncing back, but we have to give that space. So human action is required to make the nature heal itself. Have you heard this song by Michael Jackson? Do you know Michael Jackson? Who is he? That guy. And although he has this thumping songs, there is one song by Michael Jackson. Heal the world, make a better place for you and for me and the entire universe. That song is there. Anybody? What about now? Right, that is heal the world. So, give ability for the world to heal. Give the permission to heal. Give the action to heal. So, if we give the space to heal the world, it will have this resilience to bounce back. Okay. Now, sustainability and energy management. If you are spending more, you are damaging the world. That you know. If you are spending more, you are damaging the world. I come by driving my car from Ernakulam here to here. I'll be spending more, but I am damaging the world also because my carbon footprint for the day will be much higher. So that is why I took a train, public transport. It is cheaper for me, but it also helps in. Now let me ask you, we are discussing about sustainability and environment, energy management. How many of you have an ink pen with you? How many of you have seen an ink pen? Okay, I have seen it. How many of you have used it? How many of you are using it now? But the problem with ink pen is you cannot. Sometimes it may spill. I don't know whether it has spilled or not. It has not. This is good. So you cannot take it. But wherever you are, you can have an ink pen. It can actually improve your handwriting also. But it is not cool to use ink pen. In our university, all the students who are doing integrated, we are a university which is running the integrated B.Ed program. All the students who are using the integrated or studying the integrated B.Ed program should have a ink pen and a bottle of ink. That is a compulsory thing. This is pro energy or pro sustainability. At least they will be writing all the assertions of environment education course by ink pen. At least. Many of them will continue to use. So all the teachers will have. This year, I am the head of the department. So on Teachers' Day, I gave gifts to teachers. All of them I gave. Now all the teachers have. Again, the university itself, they have taken a decision to stop using plastics. That means reduce using plastic. So all the teachers were given these glass bottles or steel bottles. So now plastics are not there. Because That university is existing in an 85-acre space. They have got a lot of trees to build it. Although majority of the trees were rubber trees, still tree is a tree. So to compensate for that, you need to have some action. Say if we are cutting 200 trees, to compensate for that, take some proactive action for 10 years so that the harm that you have done is balanced. It is called net zero. Net zero. Net zero means the carbon that is produced by you is absorbed by the institution, person, community, nature, earth itself. If we use fossil fuels, petrol, gas, diesel, aviation petrol, we will be naturally consuming more. See, if we are using all the electric light bulbs and lights, even when you are not there, for producing 1 watt, you are emitting at least 10 tons of carbon to the. That is why energy management, when you are not using, switch off. Because we are not using non-renewable energy. We are using energy by turbines, water, hydroelectric project, which turbines are turned, diesel is used. Or we are using thermal power plants where coal is used. Majority of our power comes from there. We don't have too many solar or tidal waves or wind mills that generate electricity. So energy management means if I am not using anything, I am sitting it off. So that is our part to the world. No. I'll rush through it a bit. Environmental impact, carbon emissions. I told you about carbon footprint. Fossil fuel based energy production has a greenhouse gas emission, climate change. Already mentioned. Resource depletion, finite resources. Because of petrol, all these things will come to an end one day. And when you are using these fossil fuels, our air, water, soil all get polluted. Again, ecosystem preservation, because this ecosystem is disrupted when we are using finite energy techniques. Now, economic sustainability. When you are using green energy efficiency reduces cost for business and households, long-term economic viability, innovation and green jobs. There are a lot of green jobs that are created. So, as an impact of 21st century AI, lot of the jobs that are in vogue now, 70% of those will be deleted in the coming next 5-10 years because they won't be needed because we have AI to do all these things. But green jobs, environmental sustainability is one thing that is priority across the world. So this is one area where we can focus. It creates lots of job opportunities as well. Energy equity. All in the world will have equal access to affordable clean energy and ensures economic opportunities, improving living standards for undisturbed communities also. Because the cost of establishing a hydro project or a fossil fuel based project is very large and it will come to an end one day. But this, after the initial cost, you can sustain it easily. See, have you seen the Kochi airport? Why is Kochi airport unique? Because a part of the energy that is used there is solar energy. So you can directly climb the lift. When you are using the lift, actually you are consuming energy. You are emitting carbon without your knowledge. Again, food. Do you know when you eat cow, beef, etc., and to an extent this mutton and pork, they emit lot of greenhouse gases. Chicken doesn't emit that much of greenhouse gases. Chicken is okay, but chicken is not good for health. But these 4 feet animals, they emit lot of greenhouse gases, especially beef. So when these are heard for food, that much of greenhouse emissions is happening. So if we change our lifestyle a bit, if we can reduce the consumption of meat and such products, say by 10%, that much you can contribute. Again, milk products. If you can reduce the use of milk products, rearing these herd and cattle for milk will get reduced. These are all some actions. Many of those things you may think as impractical, but you can think on those things that you can think. Like social sustainability, health and well-being, moving away from polluting energy sources, improves air and water quality, energy access, universal access to green energy. Okay. Now coming to pedagogical approaches. The first and the best way is experiential learning. You experience, you do it, and then learn. Theories won't work. So if you are writing this with a dot pen, which after use you throw it away, what is the use? There was a time when it was called a refill pen. Because this tube only will get finished, you can change the refill. But now, who is changing the refill? After use, you. There are many schools here. If students finish their pens, using their pens, they put it in a bin. It is taken to recycling. You know that reduce, reuse, and recycle and refuse. 4 E's, 4 R's. Okay, that you know. So experiential learning. This word is clearly outlined in the national education policy also. Experiential learning. So I should be telling this only if I am practicing it. So I married in 2015. Till then, I was thinking of living a sustainable life. Free on my own. So no, not much carbon emission. Living on my own, a sedentary life. But people around pushed me and I also joined the bandwagon of people who are married. In that marriage, we decided that we will be spending very less. We thought of inviting only those people who are very close to us. And we also thought of inviting, I and my wife knew each other for more than 8 years. Then we decided to marry. So we thought of not going to homes for inviting, although it was not much before the corona threat. After corona, now we have the freedom of not going to house and inviting. Because there are many people who will think that if they don't come to my home and invite, I should not attend the marriage. We said, okay, no issues. We will be calling them by phone or by social media only. That we decided. Then third thing, our marriage card will be just printed by us. Means we'll be taking a big card, that A3 card. We'll be dividing it into 32 different pieces, design once, print. Total cost, one sheet, 20 rupees. It had 16 cards. So one card cost hardly 1 rupee 55 paise. Then we won't give that sumptuous food, ample food, that's enough. So we had a marriage which was attended by 120 people, and then there was a gathering which was attended by 300 people. We made sure that no plastic or no paper cup was put. For that we needed to spend more because this caterer, they didn't have steel glasses. So I said, I will sponsor that. You can use it for others. So they bought 150 glass, means steel tumblers. and they put one person to wash it. After using, the plates will be washed. I said no paper plates, only steel plates. So there were 100 plates and 100 tumblers, and there was one person to wash it. Reuse, no waste. And even we didn't have any waste at all. Whatever leftovers, 3 or 4 families we could take. So we didn't spill it. And at least 5 of my students got motivated with this idea. They followed it. They saw that this is a good idea. It is cost effective as well as doing a service to the environment. We can say that a big kind of a tunnel. Tunnel is a level and Bhumiki Vendi Pravarticha. Just be proud of that. Do some action. Anything but significant. Experiential. Critical pedagogy and problem they say. What is critical pedagogy? You ask questions. 5 wives plus 1 husband. Have you heard about Panchayat? So there is 5 husband plus 1 wife. Here in critical thinking there are 5 wives and 1 husband. And what are these 5 W's or wives? Ask questions. What? Why? When? Where? Who or whom? And H is how. What? Why? When? Where? Who or whom? Ask. Whenever you are doing anything, ask these questions. Then that is critical pedagogy. In the previous curriculum, we had critical pedagogy in detail, but I think in the present year curriculum, it is not gone much importance. It is an idea given by Paulo Freire in this book, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Okay, and problem based learning. We discuss environmental problems. Now this is discussion, dialogue and debate. Discussion on environmental matters, sustainable matters, development matters, dialogue. So dialogue is a method where all are equals. There is no teacher and no student. All are sitting together and all discuss on a topic. That is called a dialogue. Usually people will be sitting in an oval shape or a round shape. Okay? And discussion of ideas. Debate, 2 sides. One for an action, one against. Say, one group will say, we want development. Other will say, no development, only environment. So, when both sides present, we get 360-degree perspective. So, these are the ideas to develop critical thinking. Mind mapping. You know that mind mapping? 1 point, then you put a, line, another box. Those who don't know mind mapping, just Google it. Simple. So, environmental, say water pollution, you write the central point. Causes, 5 causes. Ways to solve what I can do. So, if you can do like that, it can give us an idea of what I can contribute to the. So, these are all pedagogies that can be used effectively in the school classroom as well as higher education classroom. Act and reflect. Important thing is act. Without action, there is no reflection. So start acting, then think on the process of why this has happened. Now, collaborative learning. That you know. Collaborative means together. Projects, action researches, and case study. Project, research projects, action research. You heard about action research? Yes, what is it? It is a research, a small scale research conducted by a person who has direct contact with the problem for the immediate solution of the problem. Say I go to a class for practice teaching. I find that I am a teacher in English. I find that my students have a difficulty in learning tenses. So that is a difficulty that I face. So I develop a plan to mitigate it and then use it. Then I report it. This is action research. So action research can be done on an environmental. Field visits or place-based learning. You go to the particular place, you find how it is, what it is. So this year, last year, our students had their community living camp in a place called Aralam. Have you heard about Aralam? Aralam farm. It is in Kannur district. So it's a tribal area where lot of sustainable practices are there, and there they don't have too many modern gadgets, but there the people are very happy and connected. This year they are having their community living camp in Mitra Niketan in Trivandrum, which is also a village where a lot of village empowerment activities are going on, where a lot of sustainable practices are also. So when we visit that place, we get an idea of how it is. That is field visits and place-based learning. Inquiry-based learning. Inquiry. Why? Why is the globe becoming warmer? Heutagogy. I told about heutagogy. I am self-determined to find out what is the reason. I find a way. I find what I can do. That is inquiry-based learning. SWOT analysis and system thinking. What is SWOT analysis? SWOT is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So when you analyze, say a developmental project is being done, what are the strengths of it, weakness of it, opportunities of it, and the threats of it? You get to know a fuller perspective. Systems thinking. Systems thinking means how the system works. There are a lot of systems in place. Ecological management system, regulatory system. How these things, how they work. Indigenous knowledge illustrations, narratives, and traditional. There are a lot of ideas that our grandmothers, lot of small tricks. Say, when we were bitten by some insect, what was done before ointment? They apply turmeric. So all these kind of traditional wisdom, and why these mangroves were preserved. Mangroves? Because these were all oxygen houses of the society. So for the big projects, even when a railway line is done, lot of these forests are cut. Just I was looking when I was coming through Ernakulam side, a new track is being developed. So they are filling that small field with land. So actually they are disrupting the natural ecosystem there. So is it required, or is there any other way? So we have a lot of things in our indigenous knowledge illustration that can also help. Now there are two new subjects or two new disciplines that have emerged, at least two new, based on these pedagogical approaches. One is called ethnobiology. It is the scientific study of dynamic relationships among people. Biota. Biota means animals and plants and environment. It is a multidisciplinary field, includes archaeology, geography, systematics, population biology, ecology, mathematical biology, cultural anthropology, ethnography, pharmacology, nutrition, conservation, and sustainable development. So this is a new discipline, new field coming up, a new researchable area. Ethnobiology. Why should these mangroves be preserved? Why should a sustainable lifestyle be developed? All these things, multidisciplinary studies. You may have known that National Education Policy 2020 also promotes multidisciplinary research work. So ethnobiology is one area which integrates all these areas for the benefit of us and for the benefit of those who are coming after us. Now, similarly, another phase of knowledge discipline has come. It is called eco-psychology. It studies the relationship between human beings and the natural environment through both ecological and psychological principles. So researchers have proved that if our ecosystem is poor, is bad, we are bound to have psychological problems. Have you thought about this psychological condition called PTSD? Don't get caught like polycystic ovarian syndrome, that is PCOD. This is PCOD is common for all, thanks to our lifestyle, right from our birth. Not because of us, because of our parents also. Right. Then PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. There was a film, Needle, Kunjako Boban, and Nayantara. So there, this protagonist was having this PTSD. What is PTSD? After a traumatic situation, people are bound to have. And a lot of people who had suffered or who are the victims of the flood in Kerala are subject to now post-traumatic stress disorder. It can come much after the event. Again, after Corona, although it hasn't affected much of India, in our other countries, especially the European countries and American countries, a lot of people are now under post-traumatic stress disorder because of the post-condition of COVID. So, and the best way to deal with it is go to the next. Deal with it. Right. Now, competence. I told about in the beginning, it is the merging point of knowledge, attitude, and skills. Now, this is how competence is developed. See, unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, unconscious competence. Now, how many of you know how to ride a two-wheeler or a car? Two-wheeler or a car? Hope all of us have seen people riding a two-wheeler or car. Or I suppose that all of you have climbed onto a two-wheeler or a car at some point of time, or even bus. So, before going to learn, before going to take the learner's license, before going to learn, you had this called unconscious incompetence. You didn't know that you didn't know. You didn't know that there were a lot of things in driving that were to be learned. So that is called unconscious incompetence. We didn't know that there are a lot of things that we should know. At this point, no learning takes place because we didn't know. Just like many of us didn't think about environment, our condition was unconscious incompetence because we were incompetent because we were not conscious about it. Yeah, that's called unconscious incompetence. But when you go to learn, if it's a two-wheeler, oh, balance, I can't shift my leg. If it's four-wheeler, oh, accelerator, brake, clutch, and I have only two legs. What to do with it? If I had a third leg, I could have put on this. This is the original ABC. So when I am doing this, I should also put the gear. My God. Lot of things to. I am not going to do this at all. This is not for me. This feeling is called conscious incompetence. I now know that I don't know. From a position that I didn't know that I didn't know, but I know that I didn't know. This is the start of learning. So if I know that I didn't know or I don't know, I will start learning. Next is the level of conscious competence. See, after you started studying, okay, I am now conscious, I am moving. I can lift my legs, I have to apply brakes. If it's four-wheeler, okay, if a car is coming, I should apply my brakes. So you are very conscious After some time, 5 minutes of driving, you are sweating. Why? Because very consciously you are doing it. You know that this is the theory. This is the thing that you need to apply. And you are consciously doing it. But since you are consciously doing it, you need a lot of effort in it. But that is not real competence. Real competence means after some time, you don't remember how many times you applied brake, how many times you showed your hand, how many times you put your leg down, applied accelerator clutch. You don't even think. That is called unconscious competence. You are very competent that you are not even conscious of what you are doing. So when you reach this level, only that you can be called a competent. In driving, we call it telling. Driving the telling means you are now confident enough of doing. There is one more stage. From unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, unconscious competence. I am so conscious of my unconscious competence. I am so confident of my competence, I become a master. It's called mastery learning. So if you are expert in whatever you are doing, you become a master, a genius. In cricket, we call Sachin Tendulkar the master. So that level. Okay, got it? So this is the way of developing of a competence. Is it clear? Right. Now, what are the different competences, samarthyangal namukku vedam to become a sustainable educator? Those who are working for sustainability, those teachers who are working for sustainability are called sustainable educators. I hope after this conference, at least we will be sustainable educators for at least some days. That much is expected of us, at least. Right. Self-awareness. We should know what we know and what we don't know. We should know our strength, our weakness, our opportunities, challenges, all the things that we face. How do I use my current? How do I manage electricity? How much carbon footprint I leave? How much sustainable I am? How much I harm the Mother Earth? Self-awareness. 4 C's. What are the 4 C's of the 21st century? If you are going for any job, you will be assessed for these 4 C's. Everybody. One is just give a guess. There are a lot of C's. In B.Ed, we have studied at least B.Ed and D.Ed, we have studied all these 4 C's. We already have discussed at least 3 C's. C. Collaboration. Very good. Collaboration means in a group. We are doing an action in a group. Then, for effectively collaborating, what we need? Communication. And communication, there are 2 aspects. Verbal communication and what is verbal communication? Words and the meaning. Non-verbal action. Okay. So for teachers, I usually tell, when I start their session for teachers, I usually start it like this. I will kiss. K-I-S-S. You must also kiss. If I don't kiss, you can ask me to kiss. If you won't kiss, I will ask you to kiss. But don't take me wrong. Keep it short and simple. This is how verbal communication should be. Keep it short and simple. K-I-S-S. Keep it short and simple. I will keep it short and simple. You must also keep it short and simple. If I don't keep it short and simple, you can ask me to keep it short and simple. If you won't keep it short and simple, I will ask you to keep it short and simple. Abdul Kalam. When we hear that name, what comes to our mind? His simplicity, the words that he speaks, translate the wings into thoughts, thoughts into action, and action into business. Simple but powerful. So, to be an effective teacher, keep it short and simple. Then again, body language, non-verbal communication, soften, SOFTEN. Teacher's face should be smiling face. Open posture. This is closed posture. Open posture. I am open to you, and I am. You can come to me at any point. This is open posture. This is closed posture. Standing like this, holding a book, standing behind a curtain or something, standing behind a podium. These are all examples of closed posture, open. You might have seen the pictures of gods or even statues of gods. Is there any god that is standing like this? Gods will be like this. This is open posture. You can come to me anytime. I am there for you. That is the body language of open posture. Forward lean, yes, you. Backward lean, you. Which is correct? Forward lean, SOF. I am to the group to which I am coming. T for touch. Good touch. If the touch is not good, the number of teeth will come down and number of bones will increase. പല്ലിന്റെ എണ്ണം കുറയും, എല്ലിന്റെ എണ്ണം കൂടും. കുറെ എണ്ണം എന്റെ പുറത്ത് നോക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഈ പറഞ്ഞ ആൾക്ക് കുറെ പല്ലിന്റെ എണ്ണം. Number of teeth for this person is bit less. Toma Jettere. Decent power. Okay, T for touch. If a student in the class requires that solace, a touch on the shoulder can sometimes bring that child back to life. Say, when you are going to attend a sports, your physical education sir hits on your back. Just go and run. This beating will help you get that jolt. Touch has this healing power. Use it judiciously. E for eye contact and N for nod. Yes. So soften, smiling face, open posture, forward lean, touch, eye contact, and nod. So communication, verbal communication, non-verbal communication. 4 C's. First C is collaboration, communication. Third is critical thinking, 360-degree thinking. You told that. What a parallel. 360-degree thinking is critical thinking. I told about 5 W's and 1 H. That is critical thinking. Creative thinking, thinking differently, thinking innovatively, thinking improvisingly, thinking in a completely different dimension, thinking in an improvised way. Winners don't do different things, they do things differently. Shiv Khera. In the book, you can win. It's a very good book. If you are good readers, just read it. You can win by Shiv Khera. The catch title is Winners don't do different things, they do things differently. Okay, these are the 4 C's. Collaboration, communication, critical thinking, creative thinking. Systems thinking and anticipatory thinking. I told about systems thinking. What are different systems? How can we form a system for sustainability? Anticipatory thinking means what can be. If we follow this path, what can be? That is anticipatory thinking. Strategic thinking, plans, action plans. Action plan for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Green action plan. Right? Initiative and leadership. Start yourself. You don't think that you are not powerful. I can make ripples. Even a small pebble can make ripples in a big pool of water. So that is the power that we have. Do your small action. That itself is good and that can motivate others. As I told you, at least 5 of the students who have come to my marriage, they followed it. A small ripple, a small stone which made it. Again, now when you develop these physical competencies or personal competencies, you tend to develop this 4 global domains of competence. First, investigating the world. What are the distant things that are there in the world? Then recognizing their perspectives, viewpoints, communicate ideas, and take action. These are the global domains. If you develop all these things, you tend to develop this. This is where this vision is going to translate into action. So, investigate the world, recognize perspectives, communicate these ideas, and take action. Now, India has some net zero goals. What is net zero? What all emission that we produce, that should be absorbed by the environment itself. So we will make the environment in such a way that it will absorb what all the emissions. The best way is to cut the emissions and improve the environmental taking ability. As I told you, if we cut the harm, the ecological resilience will work for itself. So, what are our India's net zero goals? India's transition to a net zero economy, balancing greenhouse gas emissions with their removal for a greener, healthier, and a more prosperous future. So, what are the goals? Achieving net zero emissions by 2070. At 2070, we'll be having net zero. How? Expanding non-fossil fuel energy capacity to 500 gigawatt by 2030. This we are almost underway. This we are in the process. We may achieve that first step. Meeting 50% of the energy needs from renewables by 2030. We may miss that 2030 dates, but we may be able to do that by 2035 also. We are in the right way. Reducing carbon emissions by 1 billion tons by 2030. Of that, who all should contribute? We all should contribute because we are by average emitting 6 to 8 million tons per year of carbon per year. And decreasing carbon intensity to less than 45% by 2030. These are all near goals. If we are doing now, we can. So these are all things that we do, and these are all taken forward, and that is why now more subsidy is given for electric vehicles. More subsidy is given for solar paneling. So all these are initiatives to cut down the effect of fossil fuels. So we have discussed a lot of things. I was a bit heavy, I know. What all things are discussed are all futile if it is not put into practice. An ounce of practice is generally worth more than ton of theory. So an ounce of practice. Just one small lamp. This lamp can light many other lamps. That is the power of it. Be educated first, light your lamp yourself, and light other lamps. That's all for this. Thank you. If you have any questions or queries, you can feel free to ask. Only question that we may have is, if there is some other question, I will be ready to answer. I am happy to answer. So I think I overshoot by 5 minutes. I wanted to stop it by 12:55. So it's 1:06. Sorry for that. But I thought that you were, at least some of you were engrossed in writing down some points. I thought of just explaining it. So I didn't expect you to be as receptive. At least you were receptive by your face. Faces can be deceptive, but you were expressing that you were receptive. Thank you for that. Okay then. Thank you.
express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guests for their valuable time, guidance, and inspiring presence today. To honor and thank Dr. Pramod Dinagar, we would now like to present a token of appreciation in the form of memento. We kindly request Dr. Deepa Varghese ma'am to come forward and present it to our inspiring guest, Dr. Pramod Dinagar. I invite
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks for today's enlightening seminar on pedagogical approaches and competences for sustainability education. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Pramod Dinagar, for sharing his deep insights and expertise. Your thought-provoking presentations and engaging discussions have provided us with valuable perspectives on fostering sustainability through education. Pedagogical approaches and competences for sustainability education focus on equipping learners with knowledge, skills, and values needed to address complex environmental, social, and economic challenges. This involves adopting innovative teaching methods such as experiential learning, problem-based learning, and interdisciplinary approaches to foster critical thinking, collaboration, and adaptability. Competences like system thinking, future-oriented thinking, and the ability to take responsible action are central to sustainability education. By integrating these approaches and competences, educators can empower students to become active agents of change capable of contributing to a sustainable and equitable future. A special thanks go to the organizers for their meticulous planning and seamless execution of this event. Your commitment to promoting sustainable practices through education is truly commendable. I also wish to thank our enthusiastic participants for their active engagement. It is encouraging to see so many educators and professionals committed to driving sustainable education forward. Finally, I express my gratitude to everyone working behind the scenes who ensured the smooth running of this seminar. Let us take the knowledge and inspiration gained today and apply it in our educational practices to create a more sustainable future. Thank you all once again for being a part of this significant event. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. We express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone for their presence and support. Will this officially conclude the section and wish you a pleasant day ahead. Thank you all. We will move to a section break. After the break, 2 p.m., every student will enter the auditorium.